The following podcast is taken from a live broadcast on Inspire FM. Please do not message or call, as the following program is a rerun of a previous live show. Any announcements made during the repeat may now not be applicable.
Any health advice given, whether general, diet, physical or spiritual, is general only and must be verified by your doctor. If you need medical advice, please consult a doctor.
Assalamu alaikum to all our listeners and viewers. I welcome you all to another exciting and educating edition of the Health and Fitness Show. I'm Fahad Matan, your host for today, and I hope and pray that we all are fit and healthy by the grace of Almighty Allah. I do pray we all had a nice and positive week so far, and definitely a nice relaxing weekend we are looking forward for. I know some of us do come off from a long break. Yes, the end of the year break kind of thing. And we will be starting a new year in a new mode. This program is broadcasting live from the studios of Inspire FM. Today on 4th of January 2024. And the time just past 6 p.m. Yes, indeed. It's 4th of January 2024, the very first show of this year, and definitely a brand new year. Our airways reaching, our positive airwaves reaching to all our lovely people in Luton and all the surrounding areas of Luton like Dunstable, Harpenden and Bedford. People can listen us through Inspire FM app, website, or view us from Facebook Live or YouTube channels of Inspire FM. As this is the very first show of the year, we always say that it is always better to have people who do this show together. And alhamdulillah, after a very long time, all four co-presenters of this show are in this studio today, and alhamdulillah, let me introduce them one by one. So joining me in the studio is none other than my brother Suliman Rafiq.
Assalamu alaikum.
How are you, brother?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well, Fahad. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Also joining me today is Leo Nazar. Assalamu alaikum, brother Leo.
Walaikum salam, brother Fahad.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you, brother. You okay?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Now, after such a long time, and I mean it very long time, it's almost 6 months now, she is back, and she is none other than Dr. Amina Hawash. Assalamu alaikum, doctor.
Assalamu alaikum. Happy New Year, Fahad.
Happy New Year to you, and I have pronounced your name correctly.
You have. I was waiting to see if 2024 would be the year that you managed to remember how to say my name properly, and you did.
Alhamdulillah.
Well
It's going to be a great year, inshallah.
Yes, indeed. And that's one of the biggest problem with me. I, unfortunately, unable to pronounce the name properly, yet I'm still trying my level best to get better every single time. Alhamdulillah. I have managed to call you with the proper name and call you Suliman for the full name instead of the nickname. Otherwise, I will be otherwise Auntie will not be very happy with me. She will say, I'll come and see you, brother. Beta, I'll come and see you, beta. With my so how are you guys?
Alhamdulillah, very well.
Alhamdulillah, very good, thank you.
I can't believe it's already the 4th of January. You said the day, and I was like, wow, 4th of January 2024. I think that's the first time I've kind of said it or been around people saying it.
Yes, indeed. And it is very different because in many different ways, it seems like the year did not started, or year started in a very unique mode, although it's and also the person who is serving us some drinks today is none other than our brother Tariq, who's lovely helping us with the drinks today. So thank you so much, brother Tariq. So yes, indeed.
Sorting out the mic.
Yes, indeed.
don't know if the cameras are. Oh.
No, the cameras are
Oh,
on.
my mic's not working.
Yes, indeed,
I can just shout a little bit louder while holding my branded Inspire FM.
Indeed, that's the best thing to have. That's the best thing to have. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you. Is that better?
Oh, much better.
Ah, excellent.
Alhamdulillah.
Oh.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much,
you.
Brother Tariq, for helping us today. So, Alhamdulillah, the new year started with the new things together. So, as the topic of the show today is new year, new us. And definitely, whenever a new year starts, we always make resolutions and we promise ourselves so many things, and we always say, this time we will do this time we will do this. So that's why the topic of the show is New Year, New Us. So let me start. What are the New Year resolutions we have made? Amna, let's start with you.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know if I've made any specific resolutions. I'm definitely always a new year, new me type of person, and I'm always asking people what their resolutions are. I haven't actually done that this year, so I'd be really interested to hear what you guys have come up with. But I think what you were saying a few minutes ago, Fahad, about 2023 just whizzed past. Like, I really feel like I lost an entire year where I don't really know where it went. I can't believe it's 2024. That seems like a date that was so far in the future, and now we're already in it, and it's 4 days in already.
Past,
and it's going really, really quickly. So I guess one of the things that I want to do is just be a little bit more mindful of time, and just be a bit aware that, time does go quickly, and time isn't promised to, any of us. And to make the most of that moment, really, to try and not have any regrets. And that's something that I think I kind of took away from 2023. And I think that's probably my main thing. I do have a couple more, but I'm going to listen to see what everyone else's ideas first, because they did steal all my ideas.
Well, I must say, I can understand that. Yes, the whole year passed by for you a bit quicker because your hand was completely busy, quite full, I must say, and they are literally full. We all know about that. But yes, let's see what other brothers say. So, Brother Leo, what's your New Year resolutions?
I haven't really made one, but putting me on the spot like this, I mean, I'm sure I can come up with something. Well, I think really this year would be for me to just relax a little bit more. Focus on more on religion time, and because everyone's so busy in work, and most people have two jobs. They come from one and then they go straight. Have got no time for children, really. Not much time for the kids. Before you know it, they're going to senior school or even college in certain cases. So what I'm trying to do this year is to just slow it down a little bit, because like I say, time doesn't wait for anybody. So the best thing I think I come up with is that I can just take it easy, slow things down, appreciate nature, go for little walks, which I haven't done before, to be quite honest. I don't think there's enough hours in a day for me to be able to go for a little brisk walk in the park. I mean, saying that, my kids wouldn't probably want to go for a little walk with me. They get very bored very quickly. So,
but you don't know. Have you asked them?
Yeah,
okay.
I have actually.
Have you asked them again?
I haven't asked them this year. No, normally
it's a new year, so you never know.
Normally, chicken and chips normally bribes them, but this year that's the second thing I was going to come to the point where hopefully not so much takeaway foods.
I thought you were about to say more chicken chips.
No. I mean, this year it's going to be that way. I know they're very easy to go to a takeaway because it's already made and it's quicker. But I think spend a little bit more time at home and maybe do more cooking myself, really. And that was my really positive vibe for this year.
Oh, so we will be looking for some nice, lovely recipe for you to share with our lovely
That'll
listeners.
probably be on my next show, inshallah.
Oh, nice, nice.
I think we should actually have. I put myself forward to taste test some of these recipes
right?
for the good of the
definitely
viewers. Obviously, we can't just have the recipes. We need to actually see the finished product so that we can test it out. So I'm happy to take one for the team and be that person.
Yes, I definitely have.
I love when the plans come together.
There we go, and that will actually help with my second one about eating healthily. Because instead of calling a takeaway, I will just call. There we go. Sorted.
I put my foot in it this time around.
So, Suliman, brother.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Similarly, I don't think this year I've necessarily really thought to myself, this is my New Year's resolution. Conscious just would like to lose a little bit of weight. I think not don't want to be too harsh on myself, but just to kind of try and try and just keep myself in a reasonable nick. So
I was thinking, where will you want to lose weight from?
For me, the thing
You
is,
and Amna.
interestingly, I don't wait. No, let's not go into this too much.
Among all four of us, you and Amna are the skinniest persons sitting in the studio.
So, Jazakallah for saying that. But I think what for me is interesting is I've stopped weighing myself, which I used to do a lot when I was young. I used to do it a lot.
Otherwise, your weight machine gets scared and shy, saying, "Oh my goodness, put some weight on me."
yeah, for that reason. But what I find, is you can tell when your clothes get tighter. For me, is my clothes just a little bit less comfortable than they should be. So I don't want to buy new clothes because I hate spending money. So, inshallah, I just want to make sure that I don't have to buy new clothes. By just, using this time of year, because it is a time where a lot of people in the office today, interestingly, there was biscuits and whatever knocking around, and pretty much everyone was saying, no, not for me, I want to be good this year, I want to be good this year. So when you're in that environment where everyone's saying, oh, not for me, then you kind of pick up on that, don't you? You say, not for me. But
did you say
it's a good opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you say not for you as well?
Because I felt the peer pressure as much as anything to say.
Otherwise, you wouldn't.
But actually,
positive.
Yeah, exactly. That's
positive peer pressure.
part of sharing New Year's resolutions and getting a group together and doing things in kind of group activities.
Yeah.
For good peer pressure and just to kind of be encouraged along to good habits, isn't it?
So that was really good. And I think the second thing, which is something I love these, quotes you get on like Facebook and these different social media things. And I saw a quote the other day and it said, no one will talk to you more than you talk to yourself. Yeah. And I read that and I thought it relates to a point, we should be really kind to ourselves. So we spend the whole day talking to ourselves. Well, I do. You think, all right, I've got to do this now, I've got to do that now, blah, 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 blah.
So that means you love your expert advice.
I love my what?
You love your own expert advice.
I love my own advice. Yeah, I see. But no, you think to yourself, maybe I should have done that better. Maybe I should have been nicer to someone or whatever it might be. You're constantly kind of reflecting and talking to yourself internally. And the point of this quote was, I can't remember the whole quote, but the point of the quote is that actually, as you're talking to yourself, which we all do, is you should be kind to yourself. You should talk to yourself as though you're your own friend.
The quote is, I love to talk to myself because I also like to get some expert advice.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. But I think the point for the quote was that you should talk to yourself kindly. I think often we're too quick to criticize ourselves. Whereas when if you were to talk to a friend, you would kind of like boost them up, wouldn't you? You try and say, oh no, you tried your best. But you don't do that to yourself.
That's true.
You say, oh Suliman, why did you have that chocolate? Or you start beating yourself up about things. And you shouldn't. You should be kind to yourself as you are to other people.
Nice. Well, for me, I like to do what I'm doing previously, which is work on myself consistently. So one of the things which I have made a change 6 months ago, around July time, September time, is that I will go and do gym at least 3 times a week, 4 times a week, and also eat healthy. Healthy means a proper balanced diet with fruits, vegetable, and whatnot. The only problem is,
I've been hearing this for many years.
No, I've started doing it since last 6 months. I'm doing it, and the positive side I'm seeing is that I can see an uplift in my mood. My mood is really uplifted. It's highly unlikely that my mood is down. Even if I have less sleep in the night, in the morning I'm still fresh. The water intake has increased because I've been asked to take extra water in. So I at least having a minimum of 3 liter water per day.
That's good.
Minimum. I have that big 1.5, 2 liter gallon, and that's finishing.
They actually really help, those really big bottles. I always used to think, it's just a gimmick, it's just a thing on TikTok. But actually it really helps because now that I'm kind of just sat around at home, I've got lots of little bottles, or I can go to the tap and get a water. But actually most of the time I'm sat there, I'm just thirsty. Whereas actually if you had one, you carried it around. And then you can actually see, and it encourages you to get more. There we go.
I always carry around a water bottle with me pretty much anytime and every time. In my car there's a water, in my desk, on my big desk there's a water as well. So there's water literally everywhere, and you can see me sipping through all the way through.
Does it count that there's water in my coffee?
Yes. So much.
I don't think it works the same way.
You are the doctor, you know better.
Maybe not quite.
Yeah, it's not the same.
But I'm being kind to myself.
There you go.
There we go.
Indeed.
We're allowed a coffee
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, you
at
are.
6 p.m.
Right. In terms of, that's all our New Year resolution. So in terms of for our listeners, what are the best advices which we have tried and worked last year? So for me itself, as I said, these are the two modes which I've taken on: eating healthy, drinking water more, and have a consistent exercise routine. And this helped me, although it did not help me lose weight, because the reason I jumped onto this particular balanced diet way is that I'm able to lose weight, and I did manage to lose like few kilos, get myself shaped, tight shaped kind of thing. But then again, it did not lose furthermore, and now, to be honest, fine. But if I keep my habits closely, and then I can fine tune it to see if I want to reduce a bit more. And alhamdulillah, so far last 6 months is really good for me in terms of my mode, because I'm a person who get lose in track of time very quickly. But alhamdulillah, I managed to manage it since last 6 months.
Pretty good going for Fahad for 6 months. If
Yeah,
you've
6
been
months
on
is a good time.
and
Good amount of time.
keep an eye on what you eat and been training.
Yeah.
It's probably the longest you ever did.
Yep.
All right.
And you have
'Cause
seen
I know.
you have seen
yeah.
me in gym as well. You have seen me gym
Yes.
literally doing a
Yeah.
proper exercise rather than just going in poolside and having some swim or chillaxing in a sauna. No,
I think when you do these kind of things and you start to feel better, that's what motivates you more.
Definitely.
I think with the eating healthily as well, and sugar, I think we're told so much about how bad sugar is. There's so much. I think the show that I did, quite a few months ago now, maybe about 8 months ago, with Dr. Kathari, about intermittent fasting, about sugar content. All of that is so interesting, and I think that was one of my main take-home things for last year in terms of like getting healthier, because it's small changes, and I hate to say it already, but Ramadan is coming up already. Already it's coming up.
Funny thing is, yesterday evening, night, in fact around 12 o'clock, half 12ish, we were switching off TV and everything, and me and my dad was walking up, and I put the radio on, and it was our show was going on, and my dad heard your voice, and you were saying about all this thing, and then I start speaking, and my dad says, "Wow, they're really talking about, they know about it," and he asked me, "Why don't you follow it?" See the boy in that voice, he was explaining such a nice way. Why don't you follow it? And I start laughing. I said, "You know who that boy is?" I said, "Who?" I said, "Well, it's me."
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's something that maybe people can think about in terms of I always tell people to just spend a few days before you make a change. Spend a few days and analyze what it is you're already doing, so that you know where to make those changes. And actually, I'm always surprised when I do it for myself. People are always surprised when they track and they see that actually they think they only have 1 or 2 biscuits a day, but actually you have like 12 biscuits a day, because
which makes a big
you're
difference.
and it makes a very big difference. And then just cutting down, just 1 or 2 biscuits, or
That's
increasing that time.
Yeah, makes
that
all the
you're fasting.
difference.
Yeah.
One of the other things which we can do is use the healthy snacking, which people do not do much often. And the reason behind it is because you think, healthy snacking, what's that? Well, a piece of fruit will do magic, and sometimes a bowl of fruit does magic as well. So if you bring some fruits and some vegetables in your household, like carrots or grapes or strawberries, blueberries, have it in your household. If you're feeling hungry, a banana, apple and pears, or even oranges,
Snack on that
snack on
rather
that.
than
Rather than a chocolate bar.
Exactly. So
Yeah, or a
sometimes
packet
you
of crisps,
feel like it, that I need something, and there are times when I go in the fridge and I said I need to have something, and I just open the fridge or a freezer and I look at everything, and then I pick up an apple and start eating it. Or if I go into the kitchen and start searching for something, there's a chocolate bar, and there's oranges right next to each other, and bananas, and I end up picking up oranges, and my missus would just literally see, and sometimes she start laughing, saying, "Okay, you're keeping yourself together," and that's something which we can do, and that's very much liked as well, isn't it, Suliman? What does the public health say in that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it's nice. My daughter, she's 5, and she's obsessed at the moment with 5 a day, because they've clearly been teaching her at school about 5 a day. And so she's got all of us kind of like, have you had 5 vegetables, 5 fruits, this and that, etc. So alhamdulillah, if you're in a position where you're able to have a fruit bowl, it's a great mercy from Allah that He's provided these fruits, and nothing is healthier than fruit and water, like we've been speaking about, natural foods, like Leo's explained in the past about like how that blood sugar then, maintains throughout the day, etc. So you don't get the ups and downs and these kind of things. So alhamdulillah is but again, I think it's all easy to say. It's all easy to say.
Very hard to actually stick to.
And actually,
and follow.
And what you shouldn't do is, and again, this is going to be my theme today, is about being too hard on yourself. Yeah. So if you are, say for example, you've set a New Year's resolution, and then, unlike Fahad, you've gone for the chocolate rather than you've gone for the orange. Don't necessarily then just say, all right, now I'm done. That's it, I'm done. No, okay. So you had a little slip, that's fine. But actually, we can start again. Let's start again. Let's think about it, and don't give up. Try and stick with it as much as you can. And we all have little slips, but be kind to yourself and keep going. And general principles, like we've discussed, are there, and most people are kind of aware of them now.
I remember Brother Leo always used to say, if you're nice with your diet, you can have a cheat day. What did you say, Leo, about that?
Yeah, to be honest, I have a cheat day every day since COVID. Yeah, no, seriously. So,
Every day?
Yeah, every day. Every day I'll have one cheat meal. So whether it's going to, that's what I said, this year was about stopping the takeaways, because every day I've been doing this to see what kind of changes happen. Because I've been maybe training for a long time, it takes its effect after some time. So my body's kind of used to having that, and I can burn the fat off anyway during training. So my training does, still continue throughout the whole year, and it's been like that for many years. I'm pretty disciplined when it comes to that, really. So
yeah. Whereas someone like me, I've got a desk job, right? So Leo's in the gym 24 hours a day, 7 days a week,
Maybe 20 hours.
And that's when he's not walking around the Wardown Park and all the rest of it, So I think it's a case of, for me, I wouldn't be able to afford doing something like that, because I know I'm sitting down 10 hours a day. Do you know what I mean? Or what do you think?
No, but I mean, do you have to make time? This year, I think the same thing as I say every year, sacrifices are important.
Yeah.
So, okay, maybe not be harsh on yourself, but there's a goal that you want to achieve. And I think, once in a while you can. I was on a diet many, many years ago. It was a bodybuilding diet I did, and I couldn't keep up with it. It was... and I still remember this, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I had an Easter egg. I couldn't handle it anymore, because he said no sweet stuff. After being on no sweet diet for nearly 2 months, which was no fruit as well at that time. The diet I was on, no fruit, no bread, no anything like that. So it started getting to me a bit, and I remember smashing an Easter egg after 8s, and I started eating it. Then I rang my guys who was doing the diets with me, and they said, no, it doesn't matter, it's a one-off, it's happened. But it's not all over. That's it. How far did you get with the egg? Now, the egg was fairly big. I said I'm halfway through it,
How big is the egg?
The egg was about that size.
So you go for a proper ostrich egg?
Yeah, it has to be for me.
What great advice the guys gave you.
Yeah, he said, don't be too harsh. Thinking about what you said, he said the same thing. He said, don't be harsh on yourself. You've done really, really well. For the last, nearly 10 weeks it was. And body was really stripped. I couldn't handle it. That's the thing about this, when you're doing these diets and that, and you're really strict, it is hard. But the gains, I think, are depending on what you're looking for. The gains are that much where where you think, I'm going to continue with that. And really, I was a bit down at first, but after speaking to him, for about 20 minutes at 3 o'clock in the morning, I kind of felt a bit better.
But that's why, as well, kind of being flexible and having something that is tailored to you. So there's no good, me trying to do what you're doing, or you trying to do what Suli's doing, or even what Fahad's doing. Everyone needs to look at where you're at today, the change that you want to make, and how you get there safely, slowly, steadily. And I always say, if you're going to say, oh, I will never, I have a problem with keto diets and things where people are like, I will never have bread again. I will never have a pizza. Well, realistically, if you really, really love pizza, what's going to happen is at some point at 3 o'clock in the morning,
of course you are.
You're going to call up and
Yes.
get pizza. It's going to happen. But actually, if you start to think about what sustainable changes you can make, why you need to make them, what little steps, and build it into a habit, then you're much more likely to keep up with it.
Absolutely. And you know yourself better than anyone.
Indeed.
You know what's worked for you in the past, what hasn't worked for you. So not necessarily the latest fad, but around the principles we've just spoken about, fruit and vegetables, drinking water, these kind of things, having a balanced meal, etc. General principles are kind of well understood. What works for you now, based around your lifestyle, what you've tried before, etc. And be realistic.
Indeed. And on that note, I must say, the time has passed really quickly. We're just about to hit the break. So when we come back from the break, we will dig a bit more deeper and find out what exercise, diet, or well-being we need to carry on. Stay tuned. We will be back after these very short messages.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Atif Nawaz. Listen to Inspire FM shows in your time by heading over to inspirefm.org or listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Please do not message or call, as the following program is a rerun of a previous live show. Any announcements made during the repeat may now not be applicable.
Any health advice given, whether general, diet, physical, or spiritual, is general only and must be verified by your doctor. If you need medical advice, please consult a doctor.
Assalamu alaikum, all our listeners and viewers. Welcome back to the Health and Fitness Show. I'm your host Fahad Martin for today's show, and we are in the studios talking about New Year, New Us. And join with me in the studios are my co-hosts for this show going forward, Alhamdulillah, and they are none other than Brother Suliman Rafiq.
Assalamu alaikum.
Brother Leo Nazar.
Wa alaikum salam.
And Sister Amna Hawash. Dr. Amna Hawash.
Fine, salam.
This program is broadcasting live from the studios of Inspire FM today on 4th of January 2024. And the time just past 6:30. And we are casting our positive vibes to all our lovely people in Luton and all the surrounding areas of Luton, like Dunstable, Harpenden and Bedford. And you can hear us on live on Inspire FM app, website, and view us via Facebook Live and YouTube live channels. Before we went on break, we were talking about how differences we can make in our life, in our body, in our mind, in our soul throughout this new year, as we are talking about New Year, New Us, and I have not involved our listeners. So listeners, if you have any questions or queries regarding our show tonight, please give us a call on 01582 481822, or you can send your questions via text messages or WhatsApp on 07779 481822. Or you can send your questions via our Facebook app or YouTube app as well. And I must say, Amna, your fan following is already there. Somebody already say, hi, Dr. Amna. So, Alhamdulillah. See, and that's something which I just noticed. It was gone way before our break. And that's what happens. Alhamdulillah, we are all back. So, and before we went on break, Suliman, you were clearly identifying all the right things in terms of positive mind and having what did you say?
Being kind to yourself.
Being kind to yourself. Thank you so much. See, I already forgot about it.
It's clearly memorable.
Well, yeah, I need to remember that. Need to remember that. But also we need to do if you are unable to. I remember the reason I remember from yesterday's show, the repeat of previous show which we were doing in the past. It was just before Ramadan as well. Was that you explain about how to if a person who cannot go to gym, what they can do. And you mentioned about prems, and I know you will be. Are we seeing you doing the similar kind of walking and jogging in the park?
I have gone to the park run with a pram.
Nice.
Only twice so far.
So were you running?
Oh, you know what? It's actually easier to jog and push a pram than it is to walk with a pram.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
Yeah, you don't feel the weight of the pram that
you
way
don't
so
feel
much.
it.
Yeah.
So actually, I would highly recommend.
I wish I could literally have that clip when you say, I do not know how those women's run with a pram.
I know, honestly. And this is what's actually like so great when you just take one small step, because I never ever thought that would be me at all. Like, I literally used to look at those women in the park run and be like, that is crazy. How are you running past me with a pram? And now I'm like, actually, you know what? It's actually a little bit easier to like jog than it is to walk. But it's just that like consistency and it doesn't matter how long you've been out of it. So I've since we did the marathon, and that was October 2022, up until like a couple of weeks ago, I'd done no exercise at all. So from a fitness point of view, I know people, they care about weight or whatever else. From my point of view, the fitness is the most important thing. And that really, took a hit for me.
Sure.
And just like you're saying, Suliman, being kind to yourself and thinking that actually, yes, I'm not going to be able to go back and do a marathon anytime soon. Not that I want to. But what I can do is try. I can just get out there. I can walk. The first time we went to the park run, halfway through, one of the babies was literally crying, screaming. And I was like, you know what? It's starting to rain. I'm just going to go home. And, I counted that as a success because actually I made it out there in the morning,
Of course,
in the rain, on a Saturday morning by 9 a.m.
Yep.
And I did something that I wouldn't have otherwise done. And sometimes it is just about taking that first step. And before the break, we mentioned about Ramadan coming up.
Yeah.
And I think that's always a time where people kind of block and stop doing exercise. But actually, there's a couple of months now until Ramadan, inshallah.
Sure.
This is a time to actually start thinking about that and pre-planning and thinking, how can you stay active during Ramadan? How are we going to make some changes in your diet? We talked about the intermittent fasting and that show. Maybe someone listening, Hussam, can link that to today's show. And, just starting about making those changes so that Ramadan isn't that kind of huge, now I'm going to have to,
completely change your whole lifestyle.
My entire life.
Which a lot of people do.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, then we're not really getting the benefit of it, are we?
That's correct. That's
Whereas
right.
if from now, like you're saying, you carve out a little bit of time to be outside, to change your diet, to take a small step towards something, it will just become a lot easier by the time it's Ramadan.
And to be honest, this year the Ramadan will be in two parts, in a sense that it will start with the summer winter time and then it finishes in summertime.
Yeah.
So we have a series of small rosas, comparatively small rosas, like 10-12 hours rosas, and then slightly more towards the lateral part after 15th of Ramadan. So alhamdulillah, it's a blessing in a disguise as well, that we will have a very unique time in many different ways, shape or form. So in terms of diet during the month of Ramadan, Leo, what do you reckon, what's the best way of controlling ourselves?
Yeah, I think I've talked to this on many shows that we've done before, and it doesn't really change the advice during Ramadan. Obviously, you're on a diet during the day, which is quite a long period. I normally try to make up in the evenings. I had a 5.5 hour window sometimes, and during those 5.5 hours, I control the portions that I have. So they're pre-planned and set. So I know that even though when I open my fast, obviously I'm really hungry, and like everybody else is, I just have just that what it is there, and then I'll wait for an hour. An hour's a long time, especially when you're used to eating every 2 hours. But I can do if I spend on 16 hours, 18 hours fasting, I'm sure 1 hour isn't going to make a difference. And then every hour I'll normally have something. I try to put in 5 meals personally in those 5-6 hours that we have. That's not what I recommend for everybody else. Plenty of hydration though. Yeah. I've seen people at the mosque as well, and they've got their, fluids next to them and that in between. Great, definitely recommend that. But you need to, best thing to do is in the morning when you wake up for Sehri time, do not have even me, hands up, I have it sometimes. I like some of this kebabs, and I feel like Mr. Suliman said, be kind to yourself. This is extra hard work for certain people. People that have, 49 meals a week, now's not having so many this year. And I have to respect that this is our religion, and I'm going to follow this. But it is extra hard on certain people, who are used to eating a lot more. Yeah. So, but you have to control that. So the best thing to do is have something that carbohydrate in the morning that is slow released throughout the day, so you're not out of energy halfway through the day, because you will be. Obviously you're lethargic, you're tired, you're going to be hungry, you might get thirsty. I mean, me personally, I get hunger more problems than I do thirst, to be quite honest. I mean, majority of the people it's the other way around.
Because in the month of Ramadan, this time when it starts in March, it will the fast starts around 3:30 and it finishes around 6 o'clock. So it's like
it's mid, because before they were 9:30 the times,
Yeah.
But I'm used to that. I remember when I started when I was about 9 years old. I still remember that 9:25 were the times, and I only could keep 26. I remember that because I counted how many I did for the first time. Because I was sick on one of them. And one of them I didn't wake up, and my dad said, "You're not having it hungry." Which to be honest, I have done last year probably, because I got up late, so I just had to have whatever I did. But and the other two I wasn't well, and that's why. And I thought I will make them up afterwards, but I didn't get to do that. But I was pretty proud of myself. From the age of 9, I've kept fasting ever since then. So the whole purpose is, I think, eat the right food. Especially in the mornings, really, because even at night people have they open they do their iftar and then that's it. After that, they don't eat anything again. Most people, they can't eat. They read their Taraweeh and they're going to sleep. They're going to bed. They'll have some water and that's it. Not really enough food, I think. Because what you normally have, you want to try to make as many calories as possible. So I think portion control is most important in what you have.
Exactly.
Have the superfoods, as they say, which unfortunately, guys, that's not curry, really, is what I mean. And samosas and pakore. I mean, hands up, yes, I do have that. In like maybe one samosa, one pakora, something like this to control that, really.
I'll see if I can able to sustain the same diet plan which I'm having since last 5 years during the month of Ramadan. Last 7 years.
And that's 6 months, you mean?
Since last 7 years, during the month of Ramadan, what I normally do is that I open my fast with a fruit bowl, and I close my fast with a fruit bowl, and during the time I have water or fruits. With the very if I am in kind of in a gathering, or if I'm there in a iftar party or something like that, I just have taste of everything, and taste means like literally have few bites and that's it. Other than that, it's purely on fruits throughout the time, and chopped fruits, and it helped me a lot. It calms me down. It allows me to have proper prayers. And keep me healthy simultaneously.
And I think like Amna was saying is, we need to make the most of Ramadan. So actually, whoever's doing the cooking, if they have to spend 4 hours of their day cooking, that's not really fair on whoever that person is. And actually, like you've just said, why not just have fruit bowl? Keep it simple, keep it light. And then you can do, like you say, you can do your prayers comfortably, and then like Leo's explained, have some follow-up foods, etc. as well, Inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. In terms of the exercises as well. Now, what do you reckon, Brother Leo, exercise-wise? Because now as I said, the roza opens around 6 o'clock. And then in the lateral part, like after 15th Ramadan, 16th Ramadan, and that with an hour plus, it will be 7:30 onwards. So, will you reckon the time to go and do some gymming or exercising before opening the fast, or after opening the fast?
Well, before opening fast, it's got to be a job and a half to do, isn't it? I think. I mean, before, I remember last year, people were actually going. It was later, a lot later than it was going to be this year, but they were doing it afterwards. Some were reading through. I mean, I remember a lot of places I used to be in at the gyms. They all changed to a 24-hour gym for the month, which they're probably still going to do, so they can go later on after they've done Thrabi and they'll do their training. But now we don't have to worry so much because it's going to be earlier. But I still say, training on an empty stomach all day long, you've been fasting, really wouldn't be a good thing. I would say first, when you have something to eat, and again, you can't just have something to eat and go straight to the gym. You need to wait about an hour, and then do some light kind of training. Now, you've got to change, I'll be quite honest. We know you said earlier on, trying to keep to a routine. You do have to change quite considerably some of the routine that you've had for the past 11 months, because now your intake of food, your calories consumed is a lot less. So you don't want to give out too many calories, and again, certain people use this time of year to help them lose weight, and it does work. So my recommendation is obviously the best time to train is after you've rehydrated yourself, right, and you've had something to eat, you've done your prayer, about an hour after that. Because for me, if I go any past an hour, it's time for my food again, and I'm not going to have time to train. So, but for most people, good hour. Minimum would be an hour after you had your little snack, done your prayer hopefully and everything else, and then go to the gym. Or like if you said, not everybody goes to the gym. There's plenty of exercises like I've demonstrated before and actually went through them here that you could actually do at home without using any weight. Your own body weight, for example, is still sufficient.
Even just walking for Tarawih, walk to Tarawih.
Of course.
Alhamdulillah.
As well as the swab that you're going to get.
Exactly, you get the swab from it, and also it helps with the congestion of all the cars that parked here, there and everywhere.
Oh, I thought your congestion of all the foods you just had.
It also helps with the congestion of the food, right?
So,
a nice gentle walk there and back, inshallah.
And going outside, and all what we said right at the beginning. And I think one thing we've not really touched on is kind of the mindfulness, well-being. Apart, we mentioned about being kind, but maybe kind of specific actions to take. I think we've been quite happy about the fact that it's a brand new year, new start, but actually this can be quite a struggling time for a lot of people.
Experience for some people at this time.
We've just had whether however much people celebrate or don't celebrate, it has been a festive period. There has been holidays. Most people have been off. They've been around their families. They've had a little bit of a break, and now it's cold. It's raining. It's pouring down outside. It's dark, and you're just back to work. And I think we're the 4th today, but I think it's Monday the 15th. I think it's called Blue Monday, which is kind of like the saddest or the depressing day of the year.
I thought on that Monday everybody becomes la 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 la.
No, and we have to really be mindful of that. And if you're the kind of person that already gets affected by even just winter. So I think we've talked about before seasonal affective disorder.
It's SAD, yes, it is. I think
and people who don't know what that is, it's when the day starts getting shorter and the darkness is a lot longer, and we're inside a lot more with the artificial light. People do get really depressed. They get really low, and people have various ways of dealing with that. Whether it's kind of firstly recognizing it and recognizing that actually this keeps happening. In October, November, I keep being really angry and depressed and really low. Forcing yourself to go outside. Maybe having a buddy, maybe joining something like, the park run. So there's lots of people that are kind of calling you and saying, let's go together. Idea. Some people have lamps that you can buy now.
For the light.
For light, that you put in front of you.
If you're working from home. Lights in that,
So technically speaking, it's Blue Monday, but in Blue Monday becomes Smurfs rather than.
But just being kind to other people as well. So if we're aware of this, on that day, check in on your colleagues, check in on your friends, on your family. If you're feeling okay, somebody else may not be. And it is a long month financially as well. I think that's one of the things because people tend to get paid a little bit earlier. They've spent all their money on Christmas presents or on family festivities over the holidays, and then you don't get paid until right at the end of January. And a lot of families are unfortunately struggling in the town even without this. So again, just being kind, maybe having a look at what's in your house that you don't have any need for. So alhamdulillah, like we were given lots of toys and things for the babies who are literally babies and cannot make use of all of those things. Could somebody else make use of them? Clothes. Maybe this is a good time for
We
a
do
clear
that all
out.
the time.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Yeah, I must say thanks for the mindfulness. I just received a message. I think so. I've just clicked one of the old messages. It says, "I'm here to wish everybody a happy Thursday," and a dancing monkey. So things like that, little things like that can cheer you up, and sometimes these things are most important in our lifeline, and can be act as a lifeline for us. For us, if we are as in the airlines, when you are sitting in the airplane, they always says help you first by putting the oxygen mask on yourself, then
before
assist
you help
others.
anybody else.
And same thing, if we are happy, if we are smiling to ourselves, then and only then we can smile to a fellow brother or sister by looking at them and just smile. And sometimes your smile or our smile give the other person a courage and a smile, and if you give a smile back, if you give a smile, you will get a smile back. That's how I see. Suliman, what are the good habits you think would be good from the public health point of view, or bad habits we have to stop?
No, so I think it's just finding things you enjoy doing. Just find things that you enjoy doing. Yeah, if you enjoy going gym, go gym. If you enjoy play football, play football. If you enjoy going for a walk, go for a walk. If you enjoy doing yoga, do yoga. Whatever it is, I think you have to try different things.
If you don't know what you enjoy, try different things.
That's the only way you're going to know.
That's the thing. And I think is, alhamdulillah, I got young kids, so they're like, Ibrahim said to me the other day, I want to play tennis. I was like, I've never played tennis in my life. Do you know what I mean? But Jono, let's go and play tennis. It was all right. It was all right. It was quite, it was different movements, etc. So it was nice to try something different. Now Hafsa wants to try skiing.
Okay.
So we've got
not so easy, not so cheap.
Not so cheap, absolutely, right? So we're not going to try it.
Maybe you can encourage her into
exactly some Nintendo Wii version of it or whatever it might be. But I think as I say, I wouldn't want anyone listening to this to think, I've got to now do exactly what we're saying. No. What we're describing are general principles, stuff that's maybe worked for ourselves or worked for people that we know. But actually, everyone's different. People find joy in different things. It might just be a case of connecting with an old friend, for example. Like you were saying, they may or may not be going through a tough time, whatever it might be. Reach out to people, connect with people. Particularly, unfortunately, one of the unfortunate things with the pandemic was we lost a lot of connections, a lot of people that we were in touch with and things like that. So reconnect with people, inshallah, as well. From a public health perspective, obviously, we would say the big thing, particularly at this time of year, people to quit smoking. So if you smoke, it's a good opportunity to stop. And obviously, what we were talking about in Ramadan, that's another fantastic opportunity to stop smoking as well, because it is unfortunately a terrible thing. But as I say, I think Fahad is. You know yourself better than anyone knows you.
Indeed.
And you need to be kind to yourself. And if you don't look after yourself, who's going to look after you?
No one else is.
And these are things that our parents have told us and our grandparents have told us. And unfortunately, now we're living in a time, it's a fast lifestyle that we live now, and everything. You get caught up in it and all the rest of it. So it's just like Leo was saying, man, just take a break, take it easy on yourself. Try and find the time for the things that are important for you. Figure out what's important to you.
So I think that's a really good point. I think first you need to find the time to be able to plan to find the time to do the other things. And that's the bit that I find really, really hard to do, because you can sit and think, I'll make time to, exercise. But then where are you going to find that time? And actually having the time to sit and think, okay, what am I missing in my life? Or what do I need to change? That in itself requires time. And it might be a case of just stepping away from whatever responsibilities or that you have in the gym or to yourself or whatever, and maybe thinking, okay, well, my priorities have changed. I know my priorities certainly have. You've spoken about your kids, and actually, what we said right at the beginning about time running away. The time is now. The time really is now.
And talking on time, yes, time is running away. We just have under 3 minutes now remaining of the show. As I always say, when you're having fun, the time goes quickly, and unfortunately, that is the case today. So let me come back to all three of you. I know from we we all won't be here every single week. We will be here. This is the only time of a show once a year. All four of us together in one room. Going forward, we will be doing shows in different ones. So every single month, every month have 4 Thursday or 5 Thursday. So every first Thursday of the month will be done by brother Leo Nazar. Second Thursday of the month will be done by myself, a show done by myself. Third Thursday will be done by brother Suliman Rafiq. Fourth will be myself, and the 3 or 4 Thursdays of the years, which will become the 5th Thursday, which the next one will be on 29th of the February, which is just before Ramadan, will be done by Dr. Amna Hawash. And in terms of Dr. Abba, in terms of the medically, what's the best advice you will say to all our listeners?
Medically for the year?
Put you on this one,
Oh, I don't know. I think from what we've said, kind of really the time is now, and think of what is a priority for you, whether that be your physical health, your mental health, your well-being, exercise, changing the way that you eat, whatever it is. Now is the time. Put yourself as a priority, and just take that first step.
Take your first step, eat medications, and if you need to change your medication, have a word with your GP.
Please have a word with your GP, and we will be talking about this pre-Ramadan, but anyone who is thinking about fasting, is on medications, please start making steps and start thinking about those things from now to get those appointments booked in and make any changes to your medication if needed.
Indeed. Brother Leo?
Yeah, I agree with everything that Amina said. I'm going to just add that have a goal. I think we need to make a goal that you're going to try to aim for, so that's going to keep you occupied. And like I said, time is the most essence of what you need to make time, and that is the hardest thing. If you can find the time to do whatever you want to do, I say go for it and set the goal and then make it achievable. And what Brother Suleiman said,
Suleiman,
be kind to yourself.
Be kind. Well, we're going to take that away, aren't we?
Yeah.
Be kind. Indeed. And on that note, I must say, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for being here together. It's really lovely seeing the family together. It's the first. It's the only time of the year we are all 4 of us together in one room. Alhamdulillah, we all enjoy together. Alhamdulillah. Next week it will be my show. I'm not sure what show I will be doing, but inshallah next week we will be coming back with a brand new show onwards. And just remember us in your du'as, and remember us in your and. Do listening and do be kind to yourself, as Suleiman says.
Yeah, be kind to yourself, absolutely.
Indeed. Assalamu alaikum to from all of us.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Why not tune in to our live stream at inspirefm.org and follow and subscribe to our social media platforms at Inspire FM Luton.